Hey guys, it's Merce. Welcome back to Harpies in the Trees. Regina from Regina's Haunted Library tagged me in her video, Channel History Tag. So I'll be doing that today. It's a really cool tag. It's sort of asking booktubers about their channels. For me, this is pretty exciting to kind of just reflect on the channel so far. I've only been a member since March of this year, so it hasn't been that long, but this is going to be really cool to reflect. So without further ado, let's start. Tell us about your very first video and where you were in life when you filmed it. I did my first cemetery video at Evangelical St. Petri, which is only 2 blocks away from my house. It's a really beautiful cemetery. It was my very first come read with me in a cemetery video, and I just really liked this concept, and it was so fun. And just editing and filming and going on location, it was just really exciting. I was in a really weird place creatively. I just didn't have any projects that were giving me satisfaction or fulfillment or really pushing me. And also a lot of the projects that I were doing were very isolating. I was, doing some watercolors, and I was kind of trying to write this book, and but it was just very lonely. And even though people don't collaborate with me when I make these booktube videos, my boyfriend, he helps me film. We watch the editing together, and I get feedback from people from the community. And so it's definitely more social and it's more interesting. Being on camera was really difficult for me at first. Seeing my face is just not one of my favorite things. So in my early videos, you can really tell that I'm uncomfortable and I'm kind of self-conscious. But now, it's okay. I have some face blindness now, I guess. And I just really focus more on the content and editing too. Tell us about your most viewed video and what went into creating it. So my most viewed video has 887 views, and it was for the horror book tag that I did. It was from Hey Little Thrifter. I was just getting into finding other horror booktubers and Instagrammers at the time, and Hey Little Thrifter's love for vintage books just really inspired me. I thought it was so awesome, and she did this book tag, and I decided to do it too. Not much went into making it. It was just pretty simple, natural lighting, and me feeling really, really self-conscious. Tell us about a video that you were most excited about when you finished it. There are 2. The one I made about Gothic horror, where did it begin, and what does it mean, and what are all of the tropes and the ingredients that make up Gothic horror. And also I talked about the haunted house story. And that to me was really exciting to do, because I didn't know that it had all of these elements like inheritance or the labyrinth, and how so much that Gothic horror is really the internal of the lost self, and it was just really fascinating to read and to know. And then I also talked about the haunted house, kind of talk about when it started and the way that we know it now, and possibly why we tend to go to the Victorian era for that. So I had a lot of fun with that. The other one was a video I did called Dark Comparisons, where I put the true crime podcast of Root of Evil about the Black Dahlia murder side by side with Rose McGowan's Brave. To me, these 2 things really lined up. I had listened to the podcast and then listened to the audiobook back to back, and I just saw a lot of these parallels kind of between Hollywood, between predatory men, between just a lot of different things that were really interesting and actually frankly very disturbing. So I really enjoyed that, and I enjoyed analyzing that and kind of talking about it. And I really would love to do more videos like that. Tell us about a point in your booktubing career that was particularly challenging, either creatively or personally. I think it was the beginning was really the hardest for me, because I didn't know what I was doing, and I didn't know anybody. I didn't know what I was getting myself into, of course, but I also didn't know what my focus was. I didn't know, what I wanted to say and what I wanted to share, and what I would be offering, the community. I really didn't know. And that was pretty difficult. Like I felt like I was kind of going through a few stages of like identity crisis for like a second. And then eventually, you know, I got there and I kind of just found myself again, which was reading horror and just kind of really embracing that 14-year-old me who just loved reading scary books. Tell us about a moment that was a high point for you or something you are particularly proud of. There have been a lot of just really great little moments. My channel is pretty small, so I don't think that there's anything that was like, whoa, so crazy. But I think what was still awesome and surprising was just being able to get feedback from authors whose books I read who I really enjoyed. And I do get to like talk to them like every once in a while, you know, about this or that, and that's just really cool. I've also just met some really cool people on Instagram and YouTube, and that's unexpected. You know, you don't really know if you're going to actually connect with anyone on a real level, but I have like I have a really nice little, I don't know, a nice little basket of people, I guess, that I feel like, you know, we're not best friends and we don't know each other in the real world, but it feels like, you know, we have like genuine conversations, and that's really nice. And the other thing too is creating my puppet Lilith. I mean, she was totally inspired by this whole booktube thing, and I haven't done anything with her lately, but yeah, so those are the moments. Tell us about an aspect of being a content creator that you had to try really hard to get good at or are still struggling with. I would definitely like to be a better editor. I think that there's a lot of things that I can learn, especially in workflow. I think that I kind of do things the long way, and that's why it takes me a long time to do things, so I really want to get better at that. And I wish also that I had space to make my own set, like a better set. Like, this is nice, but it's just my bedroom. So it's like, I wish I could have a special little room that was just like something that I could turn into like my own little tomb and film in there, because that would be awesome. Tell us a story that sticks out in your mind that happened as a result of being a part of BookTube. I did do a tag that was sort of like my own version. It was called Fuck, Marry, Kill. It was by Books with Emily Fox, and I wanted to do something that was more horror focused. So Necromancy Called Sacrifice happened, and I tagged Bookish Marie and Regina's Haunted Library, and they actually did it. So I was really stoked about that. It's kind of funny, like when you make stuff and people respond or they participate, it feels really good. Tell us about someone else in the community that you think deserves more attention than they're getting at the moment. I'd say the book was better. She gives some really like great reviews. I like her videos. They're very genuine, and I think she's also a fan of Arctic horror, I think, if I remember correctly. I'm not sure. And there is another channel called Books by the Bottle, where it's two guys who drink wine and review books, and you know, their channel's really nice, their setup's really nice. They don't have that many subscribers, but they do some great reviews. And if you love wine. So that was the channel history tag. I had a lot of fun doing it. I really liked reflecting on the history of my channel. I don't really think that I go into it too much. I don't watch old videos. I'm always into the next video, always going into like, you know, editing that and excited about that. So I'm never looking backward too much with it, but this was cool because it gave me some perspective. So if you like this video, be sure to subscribe and follow. It lets me know that you like them. And you know, if you like book tags, let me know below. I'm always willing to do more book tags. They are pretty fun, I can't lie. I hope that you guys have a very merry holiday. I hope that you get to see all of your families and friends or pets or whoever it is that you want to see, and everything goes really well for you. I'll talk to you next time.